Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most grueling, fascinating, and just straight-up transformative selection processes on the planet, the Services Selection Board, or SSB, for the Indian Armed Forces. Now, I want to completely reframe how you think about this. The SSB is not your standard corporate job interview. You can't just, memorize a few smart answers, throw on a nice suit, and walk out with an offer letter. No way. As we're going to see, the SSB is an intense crucible. It's literally a psychological mirror designed to strip away all those rehearsed behaviors and reveal if you truly have what it takes to wear the olive green uniform.
To really grasp how demanding this crucible is, just think about this staggering number. 13. 13. That is the exact number of consecutive failures a candidate named Harsh Dubey endured over 7 grueling years. I mean, think about that. 7 years of screen outs, conference outs, shattered hopes, and having to go right back to the drawing board time and time again.
So what kept him going through all that? Well, listen to this incredibly powerful quote from his father, something Harsh actually carried with him all the way from the 7th grade. "No one from our village has ever become an officer. You must be the one to change that legacy." Man, that perfectly captures the profound human and emotional stakes behind this dream. It's not just a career choice for these candidates, right? It's a true calling. It's about legacy. But it begs the question, how do you actually pass a test that fails thousands of highly intelligent, incredibly fit candidates year after year?
Section 1. The Ultimate Personality Test.
Okay, the absolute most crucial thing to understand about the SSB is what they're actually searching for. They aren't looking for the perfect straight-A student. They are filtering for raw character. And this whole assessment, it's built on a really deep, ancient philosophy: Mansa, Vacha, and Karma. That translates to mind, speech, and action. So the board uses 3 independent assessors. You got a psychologist evaluating your mind, an interviewing officer evaluating your speech, and a group testing officer evaluating your actions on the ground. The ultimate question they're trying to answer is just this: do your thoughts, your words, and your deeds truly align? Because, let's face it, under the extreme stress of a battlefield, any fake persona is going to instantly collapse. And the core foundation connecting those 3 elements? It's pure discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and actually accomplishing them. It is the absolute bedrock of an authentic personality. You simply cannot fake consistency over 5 intense days. It has to be something ingrained in your daily life.
Section 2. The officer-like qualities.
So how exactly do they measure this character? Well, the military systematically breaks down human character into 15 distinct officer-like qualities, or OLQs, which are sorted into 4 main factors. And notice the natural flow here. Factor 1 is your mind, how you plan, organize, and solve practical, everyday problems. Factor 2 is your heart and your conscience, how you adapt, how you cooperate, and your sense of responsibility to a team. Then, Factor 3 is where the head and heart actually mix to create social effectiveness. This is all about taking initiative and making quick decisions. And finally, Factor 4 represents the limbs, the dynamic factor. This is your raw physical and mental stamina, your courage, and your absolute determination to push through obstacles. You don't need to be a superhero, but you absolutely must demonstrate a natural, balanced combination of all these traits.
Section 3. The 5-day Gauntlet.
But how in the world do they test all 15 of these qualities in a room full of strangers? Well, they put you through an exhausting step-by-step pressure cooker. Let's break it down. On day 1, you face the screening, a brutal initial filter with intelligence tests and a picture perception task where you have to write and discuss a story. Survive that, and you plunge right into rigorous psychological tests on day 2. Then, days 3 and 4 take you outside for the group testing officer tasks. Think the famous snake race and intense obstacle courses, while you're also getting pulled aside for a deep dive personal interview. Finally, day 5 is the conference. This is where all the assessors sit together, look you dead in the eye, and make their final, life-changing decision.
Section 4. Inside the psychological tests.
Day 2 is where the SSB really gets inside your head, specifically using the rapid-fire structure of the Thematic Apperception Test, or TAT. Here's how it works. An image flashes on a screen for exactly 30 seconds. Then boom, it disappears, and you have exactly 4 minutes to write a complete story with a past, present, and future. And you have to do this 12 times in a row, with the final one being completely blank. Why do they do this? Because that extreme time constraint completely bypasses your conscious mind. Under that kind of relentless pressure, you literally do not have the time to invent some fake, perfect persona. Your natural instincts, your subconscious biases, and your true emotional stability are just going to spill right out onto the paper. And this actually reveals a major hurdle a lot of candidates face. It's called aphantasia. Basically, it's a poor visual imagination, which is often linked to an under-exercised limbic system in the brain. Interestingly, many highly analytical candidates, like engineering students who are absolute wizards at math, actually struggle here because they haven't practiced creative visualization. And the solution? It's not memorizing fake stories from some coaching manual. The best way to naturally build the imagination you need for these psych tests is to simply improve your reading habits. Dive into fiction, mythology, or military history books where your brain is actually forced to visualize the narrative.
Section 5. Why most candidates fail.
Sadly, thousands of hopefuls get eliminated right out of the gate by making one massive, fundamental mistake. They completely misunderstand what the board actually wants. So many candidates default to aggressive domination. You know the type. Shouting the loudest in group discussions, desperately trying to look like the alpha leader, and just regurgitating these perfectly memorized heroic stories they found online. But the truth? The board is looking for true collaborative leadership. They want to see you helping the group move forward, offering practical, logical ideas, and just remaining calm under pressure. If your written stories paint you as this ultimate lone hero, but out in the group tasks you're selfish and you refuse to listen to your teammates, the assessors are going to immediately spot the inconsistency in your Mansa, Vacha, and Karma. If your mind and your actions don't align, you will fail. It's that simple.
Section 6. Success after 13 failures.
And that brings our narrative full circle, right back to Harsh Dubey, the young man who faced this incredible gauntlet and failed 13 times. The climax of his story finally arrives on attempt number 14. After doing things like faking illnesses to attend interviews and basically losing the trust of his managers, Harsh made a massive, life-altering decision. He quit his comfortable corporate job, he embraced absolute honesty, stripped away all his excuses, and went all in on his true calling. And on June 20, 2025, on his 14th attempt, he finally succeeded.
Let's break down the specific, actionable mindset shifts Harsh actually made to finally cross that finish line. First off, he stopped carrying that heavy burden of pressure. He just told himself, this is going to be the best attempt of my life. He completely mastered his time management during the psych tests. He engaged in deep, honest self-introspection so his true personality could actually shine through. He maintained absolute clarity of thought, staying cheerful and positive the whole time. And honestly, most importantly, during the group tasks, he stopped trying to aggressively stand out and just became a true team player. Harsh proved that authentic self-awareness, not some rehearsed act, is the absolute ultimate key to passing the SSB.
So what should we take away from all of this? The SSB is ultimately designed to find out who you really are when the mask is off, when you're tired, when you're stressed out, and when you are completely out of time. It is an assessment of your daily habits, your integrity, and your willingness to put the team above yourself. Which leaves us with a final, pretty provocative question. If the 5-day gauntlet strips away everything but your true character, do you have what it takes to look in the mirror? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.